since Sabato De Sarno became the new creative director of Gucci, we haven't been able to stop talking about it. We want to know, where is it going? Is it going to be successful? Is this huge aesthetic change going to work for the brand, or is it a terrible idea? A couple of weeks ago, the financials for Gucci were reported, and it wasn't looking good. To be honest with you, it's not been looking good for a lot of luxury brands this year, to be honest with you, except for a handful. Those being Hermes, seemingly cannot be touched, Brunello Cucinelli, Miu Miu / the Prada Group. Miu Miu has been growing crazily. Okay, I'm here like, I don't quite get it. I'm not the Miu Miu girl, but listen, credit where credit's due. They're killing it. But yes, Gucci is amongst the majority of those that haven't been doing quite well, and to a significant amount. Today, I want to kind of go through the things that were called out during that report as to why Gucci is apparently not doing very well, and where do I kind of see this going? What are my thoughts? Do I actually think that this is something that Gucci should be worried about? What are my credentials? Absolutely nothing, apart from the fact that I look at luxury fashion all day and have somehow proclaimed this to be my job. Guys, if you're new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're probably going to love it here. So head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. It's been no secret that it's been a tough year for luxury brands. However, Gucci specifically, their numbers have been a little bit worrying. Okay, so in the first half of the year, Gucci's revenue was down 20%. And the recent results, which covered Q3 of this year, the revenue was down 26%. Okay, so we're getting in there. The hope at the end of the tunnel, that light's getting a little bit smaller and smaller, right? Or so it may seem. Gucci is owned by Kering, right? This is one of the biggest parent companies in fashion. You know, you've got your LVMHs, you've got Kering, you've got Richemont, you've got the Prada Group. But Kering also owns brands like Bottega, Saint Laurent, Balenciaga, McQueen, Brioni. Across the board, there really is only one brand in their portfolio that has done well so far this year. Saint Laurent hasn't been doing particularly great, but Bottega is their saving grace at the moment. Bottega was up 4%, mainly due to strong leather goods. Basically, everybody wants their bags, right? We've been talking about the Andiamo long clutch. What else? The hop. People have been really still loving Bottega's bags, and the identity that Bottega has got under Mathieu Blazy is desirable. People want it, okay? Can Gucci go this same way? Question mark. So why is Gucci not doing well? I think it can be really easy as consumers to come to a really simplified conclusion that's, oh, well, people don't like the designs. People don't like the designs, so people aren't buying them. This was a huge change from Alessandro Michele, who was maximalist and opulent and accessories on accessories, and your eyes could hardly ever focus on the outfit. Now we have something that is much more minimalist, much more simplified. Can these two things cater to the same customer? And at first seeing this, you might go, yeah, well, clearly it's not working. Okay, people clearly hate new Gucci. Not so fast. Anyway, the report breaks this down into 3 reasons why the results are the way they are. Number 1, market conditions, especially in the Asia Pacific region. Obviously, we know that in ASPAC, people really aren't spending on luxury as much as they were, and they were a really huge reason why luxury was doing so well. Number 2 is wholesale. So this is when brands sell to online retailers, department stores, right? They usually will sell to them at a discount. I think it's something like 30%. Listen, I don't work in luxury retail, so this is just from my knowledge of it, and I think that it's right. But feel free, if you do, to let me know, if not, in the comments. But usually they sell wholesale to these brands. Those brands, you know, when sale seasons come, will do their discounts and deductions and all of that. So for example, with a brand like Gucci, Gucci on their own website is never going to have a sale, okay? In store, some clients might be invited to a private sale, but Gucci also has their outlets. Saint Laurent, same thing. You're really only ever going to see it discounted on certain websites, in certain department stores, things like that. You're never going to see it on their own website, but they also have their outlets. But one sort of strategy that I think Kering is doing across the group, I know that they're doing with Saint Laurent specifically, is pulling back on the amount of wholesale that they do. So you will see less of these brands at some of these online retailers, meaning that they can sort of control their brand positioning, right? Because they may not have discounted something to the same level as, like, I don't know, throwing it out there, Saks or Selfridges or whatever. So they're doing this in an effort to sort of elevate the brand, elevate its positioning. The third reason, up until this point, apparently only 35% of the sales are new Gucci, which is in line with what they sort of hoped, and they deem that to be successful, right? But there's not enough of that 35% that offsets the decline in demand for carryover Gucci to basically have the numbers bumped up. So what Gucci has really struggled with, I think, this year, so Spring Summer 2024 was Sabato De Sarno's first collection for the brand. So we were really going to see this hit in February. It's now November. I would probably say from February up until September, there wasn't too much of his stuff in stores. Like, there was still a lot of old carryover Gucci. So you're going in there and you're sort of being very confused by the offering and going, okay, well is this Gucci or is that Gucci? And it doesn't really feel connected. I think that was due to like supply and whatever, like they couldn't get the stuff in there fast enough, I don't know. What's happening is that, yeah, there's this sort of confusion and the identity of Gucci is all over the place, and as a customer you're walking in and going, I don't know what's going on here, and leaving empty-handed. So, based on this last point, it actually implies that there is demand for Sabato's Gucci, there just isn't enough of it in stores, and there's less interest in the older pieces, in the carryover, in Alessandro Michele. And again, like I've mentioned, this is a huge change in aesthetics and vibes, so it's not even like this is like a subtle little, oh, I don't know which collection that bag is from. Like, you can look plainly with your eyes and go, that is old Gucci and that's new Gucci, because the vibes are very, very, very different. The report also mentions that the Jackie bag is experiencing strong performance. I would hope so, because they have been really focusing on that bag since Sabato De Sarno has sort of started, so I'm happy that that's working out for them. But they've also mentioned that they are doing 2 major bag launches by the end of the year. One being, I think, the Blondie that has recently relaunched. It's got a little bit of a new design. It's much better, in my opinion. The styles that they've come out with, lots of really nice suede. There's a teal suede. It's not a bag that's particularly my style, but if it was, it would be the teal suede. There's also like an olive green. Anyway, that's actually quite nice, and they've done the enamel GGs and all of that, like, great. There might be one more by the end of the year, let's see. We know that it's leather goods that carry these brands, okay? The leather goods, we need to check in on them. How is your back? Because they are carrying these brands. As much as the ready-to-wear is so great to see down the runway, it really is the leather goods that make up the most of the money for these brands. So I wanted us to take a moment to have a look through the Gucci website and just have sort of like first impressions. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what seems to be doing well, what I think is good. Because they have this very weird bag that they launched. Actually, I'm going to see if I can find it, because nobody spoke about it, which is for the best, actually, because this bag made absolutely no logistical sense. As we can see here, the top handle is not, this is quite a sizable bag. It says small. It's not that small. I would say it's a medium-sized bag. You have this short sort of top handle that spans the length of it. Do you see how she's carrying it? You see how she's sort of carrying it to the side? This is not like a big clutch sort of situation. It can barely hold itself together, as I've tried to have a go with this in stores. It's a waste of time and a waste of everybody's energy, to be honest with you, and no wonder that there is only one, and they only made it in this one colour and in this one size, because I don't know who. And then the price of it, don't even. Anyway, basically this is my thoughts on Gucci so far. It's not going to be an overnight success sort of situation, especially when you have that big a shift in aesthetics for the brand. But I will say that I think they are now releasing the products that will do really well, that are like those hero pieces that people will really sort of latch on to. By mid next year, I think their numbers are going to turn around a bit, because I think that we're getting somewhere. Okay, these horsebit ballet flats are brilliant. They are We've seen ballet flats done by so many brands over the past 18 months, right? We've seen the Alaïa ballet flats, the Chanel ballet flats, the Miu Miu ballet flats, all of that. This still feels different from those and fresh, while still being very Gucci. You have that quintessential point square toe from a ballet flat with the gathering of what is usually satin, but in this case suede, and you have the Gucci horse bit. These are very nice. I've only said this about a couple of ballet flats, but if I was to get a pair of ballet flats, these would be the ones, okay? Yeah, you've got the little bow as well. So they have, I think, 8 different designs of these. They have the plain suede, the suede with the GGs. They also have canvas versions, which I'm sure we'll get to. So here we go, we have the Gucci Blondie. I think also price-wise, you can sort of see the type of customer that they're trying to lure in with a bag like this. It's a little bit more of that, the quiet luxury-ish. Even the fact that it's the enamel GG on it so that it's monochromatic, so it doesn't feel as loud as if it was a gold, you know, GG logo sort of thing. Here we have the ballet flats again. This is the most expensive version, I believe. It's the black leather and it has the triple strap. So she feels a little bit edgier, she feels a little bit more dangerous. I don't know. She was maybe on the back of a motorcycle this weekend. These, I think, are surefire winners. I think they've done a really, really good job with that. The rest of the stuff, it's predictable. It's, dare I say, boring. They have the odd piece that really kind of stands out, and you're like, oh yes, love that. But the rest of it, like all of this that I'm just scrolling through, it's like, oh, okay. The shoes, I think, is where we're winning here. I think the ready-to-wear is... because you have to take into account the price. So the ready-to-wear, of course I love this. Of course I love this jacket. You see it's covered in GGs, thank you very much. It has a crystal fade at the bottom. This to me is glorious. This is fabulous. It's everything. It's a barn jacket made with a song and a dance, right? Have you seen, it's got the corduroy collar. From halfway up, you're like, this is business. Halfway down, this is a party. Wow, love. Yeah, love, $5,500. I think the boots are great. You've got these sort of suede ones with the gum sole. They do an ankle, they do a knee-high. Great, nice. Again, it's a little bit more on the simple side. I do like the thin horse bit. I want to have a quick look at the bags. Yes, we know the Jackie. The Gucci Marmont is still around against my will. The emblem. So the emblem is a new bag. It's this sort of, it's very simple. I really like this. And this is sort of what they're positioning as a little bit more of their entry level-ish. As you can see from the price point, it's a lot more palatable. So this is the large tote, right? And if you compare this to the Blondie that we saw earlier that was like 4,000 something, this is 2,400. You can put your laptop in there. She's great. You know, she folds in on the side. This is one of those pieces that you can enjoy now and then you also know in 20 years time she's going to be a fab, like, vintage piece. They do a small version. I like this. Look at this cute little, the bucket bag version. Fab. Scrunched. What a cutie. You have a lot of the Ophidia, which feels older. The Blondies, again, in different styles. The bee bag is... the bee bag in the canvas is fine. It's still not great. In the leather, it's just like, it's boring. It's boring, it's simple, and not in a way that like, oh, it's cut so simply, but, you know, it still has a bit of something. This to me is, it's boring. You know, I feel nothing. Yeah, still there. The Milano also is quite a new launch, and my expectation for this was that this is what they were going to sort of replace the GG Marmont with. Not the case, because these are fully leather and that comes with a price tag. This sort of confuses me because these are very similar shapes to something like the Marmont. You also, I mean, you still have the Marmont logo on it, but they've elevated a little bit. So actually, no, I'm not confused because that's exactly what they're trying to do. I love the Jackie. I love the Jackie in these beautiful variations and colours. My issue with the Notte bag is you've just given me a chain strap. Why? I want a top handle with this. I want her to be a tiny little mini top handle and a crossbody. And usually Gucci is very good with giving you like lots of different strap options. Clearly not in this case, because I would have been all over that. had a top handle strap. Again, interesting, the sort of the price jump there on the Jackie between the leather versions and the patent. Also this half moon, yeah, that's almost $5,000. You're obviously trying to position to, you know, a higher spend customer. Is this what they're going to be interested in? Is this sort of like half moon the one? Then the shoes, yeah, the ballet flats are great. Absolutely no notes. Phenomenal ballet flat. Again, if you want something classic and timeless, then it's the horsebit boot, right? Again, they look great. I recently did a shopping vlog. Fantastic. This version, you know me. Anywhere I can incorporate a logo. This version is fab. The Ancora Rosso, this burgundy that they've introduced with Sabato de Sarno, I think is a very smart move, because there are certain brands that colours are associated with them, and that is a signifier along with the logo. Tiffany blue, right? It's like a Pantone registered, trademarked, whatever it is, colour. Valentino was known for red, and then they did their PP Pink collection, and it was just like all we talked about for a year and a half. Things like that. So they're obviously trying to do this with Gucci. I think that also with them trying to be a bit more minimalist, less logo-y, they're using the colour as another signifier that's like, oh, we don't just need the logo, but you can just know that it's Gucci because it's Ancora Rosso. I think, anyway, this is my theory. So based on that, I have a feeling that the Ancora Rosso pieces do better than their non-Ancora Rosso counterparts. Let me see. Okay, so the size here, pretty much sold out except for a 38 and a 40, okay? I mean, like, clearly people are wanting them. These boots are doing well. Show me in, okay, let's see the green. Green, grey, probably would have been my selection. All colours in. I think I'm onto something. Sometimes these two little brain cells, they create a small fire. I don't. We're still seeing more and more of his items come through. Like, even on the website there, like, you're having to field off a lot of stuff that we know about and that we've seen for years to get to the new stuff. This man has been in the job for maybe just about a year, right? Yeah, it's been a year. The luxury fashion industry, as of late, has been very quick to cut people left, right, and centre. Oh, you're a new creative director, and after 2 seasons, you didn't perform all that well. Okay, well, let's get rid of you because it's not happening. And I feel like we need time. I feel like we need time. Everybody needs time to really sort of like carve a name for themselves and sort of create the vision that they want and kind of take the potential clients or customers on that journey with them. People not necessarily, and listen, this is coming from somebody who I was extremely skeptical. I was biased to begin with because I love Alessandro Michele and I think he's great, even whether or not I like the pieces individually, right? Whilst Sabato de Sarno's Gucci has thus far not hit all of the marks for me, I do like the odd pieces and I can kind of see where we're going. And I actually think that in about a year's time, we're going to be speaking very, very differently about Gucci. I also think that Gucci's an odd one because what Alessandro Michele did for Gucci was huge and absolutely, like, not unprecedented because it's happened in luxury fashion before, but these are rare moments that he basically turned the company around, smashed a lot of financial records for the company. You cannot expect the same thing of somebody coming in now, and I think it's dangerous to sort of uphold somebody to those levels, especially within a year. So I think that there's a lot more good product coming. I think the problem lies not only in, like I said, taking the customer along with that journey, but also in the pricing. It's going to be interesting to see how they kind of manage it, because you've had a brand like Burberry try to do something similar, like try to do a complete aesthetic rebrand of the company, and are now having to reduce their prices because people aren't used to that for that brand. Does Gucci maybe have a bit more clout and a bit more of a loyal and dedicated fan base so that they can do that a bit more and they can push it a little bit more without having to go back and go, oh my gosh, yeah, sorry? Probably. But with all these things, time will tell. I just think that I have more faith in Sabato than I did to begin with, and I kind of like see where things are going now. There you go. What do you think of New Gucci currently? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. I'm going to link another video here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are. And in the words of my father,
if you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye, guys.